Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Reagan, the commander of the Soldier Recovery Unit, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, welcome to our Assumption of Responsibility ceremony. Today, Command Sergeant Major Bryant Gray will assume responsibility of the Soldier Recovery Unit from the Acting Command Sergeant Major, First Sergeant Adam Holmgren. The presiding officer for today's ceremony is the commander of the Soldier Recovery Unit, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Reagan. At this time, we would like to extend a sincere welcome to our distinguished guests. Mr. Bill Harple, Civilian Aide to the Secretary of the Army and 2010 Champion of Fort Campbell. Dr. Lana Baston, 2013 Champion of Fort Campbell. Ms. Rita Bodensteiner, 2013 Champion of Fort Campbell. Ms. Royce Stevens, 2021 Champion of Fort Campbell. Colonel Vincent Myers, Commander of the United States Army Medical Department Activity, Fort Campbell and Blanchfield Army Community Hospital. Master Sergeant Johnny Thompson, Command Sergeant Major of the United States Army Medical Department Activity, Fort Campbell and Blanchfield Army Community Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for honors to the nation and the invocation delivered by Chaplain Fortune Asabuke.
Detail, attention. Present. Oh.
Please join me as I share the invocation. Let us pray. Almighty and eternal God, this is the day that you have made. We rejoice and we are glad in it. I am thankful for yet another opportunity to gather together as we observe this Assumption of Responsibility ceremony. I pray your blessings upon all our guests, staff, and soldiers who are gathered here in honor of Command Sergeant Major Gray. Most gracious God, we know that every good thing comes from you, and so we receive Command Sergeant Major Gray as one that you have ordained to lead this formation. My prayer this day is that he receives the divine wisdom and power to lead as you have called him to do. Bless his family and encourage them as they stand with him through his time as Command Sergeant Major of the Soldier Recovery Unit. I pray your grace upon all staff and cadre within our ranks. May your peace and love be with all our soldiers in recovery. Grant us all the spirit of oneness and safety in all our missions. I ask these things in your most precious and holy name with thanksgiving. Amen.
Detail, attention.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The non-commissioned officer in charge for today's Assumption of Responsibility ceremony is Sergeant First Class Adrian Noriega. The Assumption of Responsibility is a simple, yet traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the ceremony is the passing of the unit colors. the very soul of a military unit, is symbolized in the colors under which it fights, for they represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers. The custodian of the colors is the Command Sergeant Major, who is the senior enlisted soldier in the unit and principal advisor to the commander. The non-commissioned officer in charge, Sergeant First Class Noriega, will pass the colors to the acting Command Sergeant Major, First Sergeant Holmgren, who will in turn pass the colors to the commander, Lieutenant Colonel Reagan. The passing of the colors symbolizes the relinquishment of responsibility and authority from the acting Command Sergeant Major, First Sergeant Holmgren. The commander, Lieutenant Colonel Reagan, will then pass the colors to Command Sergeant Major Gray, charging him with the responsibility and authority that comes with this position. Charge orders for Command Sergeant Major Bryant Gray. Let it be known from this day forward that the commander of the Soldier Recovery Unit has placed special trust and confidence in your patriotism, dedication, integrity, and leadership abilities. Therefore, you are hereby appointed as the Command Sergeant Major for the Soldier Recovery Unit, Fort Campbell, Kentucky. Command Sergeant Major Gray now returns the colors to Sergeant First Class Noriega, who will return the colors back to the color bearer.
Center face. About face. Array, rest.
Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of the Soldier Recovery Unit, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Reagan.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Want to really thank everybody for coming out today for the Assumption of Responsibility ceremony for CSM Gray. Really want to thank our distinguished guests, Ms. Stevens, Champion Fort Campbell, Colonel Boardwell, Sergeant Major Wise, Sergeant Major Pena's out there somewhere, I think. Colonel Myers, appreciate you being here. Colonel Friedland, Colonel Clark, and just everybody else part of this larger extended SRU family. So thanks for your attendance today. So today's ceremony is a little bit unorthodox. You know, it's an assumption of responsibility rather than a change of responsibility. Due to some unfortunate circumstances with our last Command Sergeant Major, because of Army Reserve Command, his orders got curtailed a little bit short. So I'd like to first start with saying a few things about Command Sergeant Major Mike Nunez, because I think that's appropriate. So Sergeant Major Nunez, who isn't here, joined our team last January, and he served, for about a year. But when he came on board, really storied track record, kind of an old school NCO. So old school, in fact, that he still had a flip phone when he showed up, and didn't use credit cards, but he paid for things, which was really weird. But anyway, what he lacked in technical sophistication, he made up for more than enough in his heart and his compassion for soldiers. Sergeant Major Nunez's legacy was helping to build the positive climate that you see here today in the SRU. He joined our team in the midst of a lot of turmoil and a lot of transition, and he decided to counter that head on by constantly engaging the soldiers and sharing his positivity across the formation. Dedicated countless hours to the soldiers in this organization. Spent his weekends playing basketball with people, spending time in ARP trips, going on TDYs to help motivate soldiers in recovery as they continue to improve themselves and get back to the fight. So his performance. So his positivity and compassion were ever present, resulting in huge increases in morale across the footprint. During his short tenure, Sergeant Major Nunez's efforts helped to grow our SRU to the largest SRU in the Army, with an 80% increase to the support to the 101st Airborne Division, who now number nearly a quarter of our overall soldier and recovery population. He helped to reinstill the trust in the units on this post that we support, as well as the faith in the SRU soldiers that are here in the process on how the Army takes care of their medical care. So even though he's not here today, I'd like to ask you all to join me in a brief round of applause for Sergeant Major Nunez. All right, to continue in our unorthodox fashion, I'd also like to say a few words about First Sergeant Adam Holmgren, who has been our interim Sergeant Major for the last 2 months. He conveniently didn't have to prepare anything to say today, so I figured I'd say a couple things on his behalf. So understanding that we would have this gap over the last few months, I raised a huge fit, up at echelons above us to the chagrin of many staff officers up at Region and ARCP. But in all honesty, I never really had any concerns about that because I knew that we had First Sergeant Adam Holmgren to step into the seat and take charge of the Sergeant Major over our period. So First Sergeant Holmgren came to us over the summer, came to us from 1st Brigade, and since he's been here, he's been nothing but exceptional. During his brief time, here in the SRU as the Sergeant Major, he's helped revamp our NCO strength management systems, building up recruiting programs with the brigades and getting us filled out to those NCOs and those squad leader positions to help us do our job, increasing our capacity to care for the soldiers here on Fort Campbell. He's also been an awesome coach and mentor to our staff, a staff which we've had to grow from the ground up, and his efforts will have a lasting impact on the unit, which fortunately for him, he'll be able to see once he goes back to the company level. So, on behalf of the battalion headquarters, thanks so much for your support and dedication to the staff while you've been up here, First Sergeant. Please join me in a round of applause for First Sergeant Holmgren. And then lastly, I'd like to offer my warm welcome to Sergeant Major Bryant Gray. So Sergeant Major Gray joins us from the South Carolina Army National Guard, where he's been working at the Joint Task Force level in the headquarters of the TAG there, working in logistics. So in reviewing packets, it's really hard to understand how to read somebody in these packets when we're looking at for these positions. And I remember reading through his packet and being like, this guy's all jacked up, and he's got 3 SRU assignments on there. That's not right, but that was not a typo. Sergeant Major Gray is a repeat offender of the SRU, so either he's really dedicated to soldiers or he's crazy. I'm not sure which one it is. We're looking forward to figuring that out here pretty soon. But Sergeant Major Gray has an impressive track record and a solid reputation over the years of dedication and selfless service that he's given to soldiers. Really awesome to talk to references, former commanders, former field grade officers that have had nothing but great things to say about Sergeant Major Gray. And I can tell you, just by the short week that he's been on ground here, he's extremely driven, extremely competent, and extremely determined to maintain this as the best SRU in the Army. So welcome to the Warrior Battalion, Sergeant Major. Welcome as looking forward to having you as my new assigned friend and serving together as a command team for this organization. Thanks again to everybody for attending today's ceremony. Army medicine is Army strong, Eagle Warriors, air assault.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Command Sergeant Major of the Soldier Recovery Unit, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, Command Sergeant Major Bryant Gray.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, commanders, command sergeant majors, community partners, civilians, and the soldiers of the Fort Campbell SRU. Thank you all for being in attendance today. So like the commander said, I am a repeat offender. In 2009, I was at my desk. I worked full-time for the Guard, and they sent out a RFI for squad leaders to come on board to help facilitate soldiers. And I thought, man, this is a good way to really help inspire soldiers. So I was driven at that time, and I figured, hey, if I'm a squad leader, then why not be the platoon sergeant, and then why not be the first sergeant, and now the sergeant major. So I really take pride in this job and this position. For those soldiers who's come through, realize that, man, this is the greatest opportunity to go out. Either I'm going back to the fight or I'm going to veteran status. This is the way. Ephesians 4:9. Do not let unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only that what is helpful for building others up according to their need, that it may benefit those who listen. So words mean something, and I want my words to count. Respect, attitude, commitment to yourself, to others, and to the mission. Here at the SRU, I will commit to making soldiers' transition successful. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the singing of the Screaming Eagles song and the Army song.
Detail, attention!
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our Assumption of Responsibility ceremony. We thank you for attending. A reception will be held for Command Sergeant Major Gray and his family located in the dining area.